Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nocturne Society. Doing a live stream here in October, the month of October, which is everyone in the paranormal community knows is the bestest of months. Tonight, I'm a little bummed out because I always do this every year. I want to be doing stuff on the Nocturne Society website and becoming what's the word more public. No, I don't know if that's the right word. More, not more public, more in people's minds and eyes. And I had the podcast going for a while, and then, well, I don't want to get into reasons, but yeah, this happens every year to me as I get busy working and just life, and then I go and forget about everything. And then October rolls around. I'm like, oh crap, I haven't done much stuff for the Nocturne Society website. And the plan originally was to do a monthly thing. I had talked to the person the author that wrote the book, House of Shadows and Whispers. I believe that's what it's called. I'd have to double check. But I read the book. It was really good. And she said now wasn't a good time. And then I was going to have my brother on because he's got some really great stories, experiences he's had that are hard to explain. And that's what I always go for. I look for stories that are hard to just discount because, so many people in the paranormal community, I mention this every time I stream, so many people in the paranormal community, they want ghosts, who doesn't? They want something paranormal. They want something demonic. They want a cryptid, they want something in their line to be the explanation. So I can't fault them for always jumping to that. But, in the whole slew of things that a noise or a something they see could be, a ghost should be the absolute last thing because it is the least likely of everything. So that's kind of always a unpopular stance to have when you're, that's like that's like being a sports fan of a particular team and then saying everyone's like, yeah, they're the best, and then you say, well, they really aren't that good this year, and here's some reasons why. You're not a popular person amongst the other fans. So, and that's kind of the way I feel sometimes. I don't, and I don't know. Does anyone else have this paradox, this problem that you want to really be into the paranormal, but you're also a person who listens to a lot of science stuff and logical things? Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love Star Talk, and when intelligent people don't believe in ghosts, I am very hesitant to jump on that bandwagon. So it's not that I think that people that believe in the paranormal are stupid, because people have experiences, and what is it they say, 90% of your reality is your beliefs, and if you think this is true, then to you it is. So I don't want to beat on anyone, but I'm just not a person that is willing to just jump on and just say, yeah, let's all call this a ghost, or, I'll give an example. There are things that have happened to me that are strange. And I mean, that's how I got into this whole thing. But I still can't 100% say that I've seen some paranormal thing. I've seen some things that when you sit back and you try to explain them, you really can't. But that doesn't mean that's what it is. And I'm still kind of holding back. And I believe I posted on on Nocturne Society Twitter. I think posted a video on there by SciShow talking about how all these paranormal phenomena that we think are paranormal phenomenon actually all have logical explanations, and they go through a whole bunch of them. So if you want to look at that video, it was posted recently. I believe a few tweets ago I posted it, and yeah, it makes you kind of take. Well, let me just give an example. So this house we live in, well, my girlfriend and I live in. It's it's a quiet house. It doesn't have a lot of things happening in it. There's not a lot of what I would call odd stuff happening. Just like any house, when the seasons are changing, there's a lot of banging and popping and creaking, and we hear a lot of what sounds like footsteps walking upstairs. A lot of the time. And it happens so frequently that we discount it. And it's probably wise to do that. You know, it's probably just the house. I mean, the house is a wooden framed home, so it's probably creaking. But we had one thing happen here that was strange. Let's see if I can locate here. Yeah. So if I go back I think I have a picture of it here. If I go back a few years. So we have at the entranceway to our house, there's the doorway, and then there's like this mirror hanging on the wall. And I can grab a picture and share it with you here. Yeah, here it is. All right, let me share it. Okay, here it is. You can see it now, right? So this is a mirror that is in the front of our home. So if you follow my mouse, you walk in the front door here, and then walk in, and here's a bench where you sit down and change your shoes, and there's a mirror here, so you can like check yourself before you walk out the door. Now, if you look at the structure of the mirror, you can see it's got a wooden block and a wooden block here with some bars between them. But the mirror itself is kind of sandwiched in here. So this touches the wall. This touches the wall. The mirror itself does not touch the wall. It rattles in there. Admittedly, it rattles in there when you bump it, or mainly just if you bump it. It doesn't just rattle all the time. But if you look in the reflection, this leads into the kitchen. There's a chair here, table here. My girlfriend was sitting behind this wall, if you can follow me. Behind this wall, she was sitting here at a chair at the table. I was sitting at the end of the table here. I heard a noise over here. I thought maybe it was the cat. Jumped on the bench. He does that sometimes. I thought maybe he jumped on the bench and bumped the mirror and he wasn't on the bench, but the mirror was rattling. Now, often you catch something out of the corner of your eye. Just checking if anyone's in the chat there or not. You catch something in the corner of your eye and it's like, what was that? And then everything's normal. This, I was looking right at it, and the mirror itself was rattling. It was rattling, and the door wasn't open. There is no breeze. There's no furnace vent here. The mirror inside was just rattling back and forth. And then it stopped, and I was like, and it wasn't out of the corner of my eye. It wasn't for a second. It was for a while. It was like, let's say 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. Let's not get carried away. I'd say 10 seconds. And I was sitting here trying to contemplate what was causing it to do that. And you think, well, ghosts, Don't they have something better to do than rattle a mirror? But so the mirror was rattling and it stopped, and I was like, it was like blatant because it was I was looking right at it, and it stopped, and I was like, that's weird. And my girlfriend said, what? And I said, the mirror was just like rattling. And she looked around the corner. So she was sitting in this chair. She looked around the corner at the mirror, and it did it again right in front of us. And she's like, what? Like, and then it stopped. Like, what just happened? It just did it again. And it was like very confusing. And I was just, I, that was just a moment where I was just like, I don't know what has happened here. Now, I'm not going to jump immediately into the camp of that was a ghost, because it wasn't. It was the mirror moving, you know. I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean a ghost. It was a mirror moving. It was maybe it was a, I don't know what it would be. There was like nothing that could have done it. I don't know what it would be, but is that a paranormal event? Is that something to like go crazy about? I don't know. And we went, so to back up a number of years, before I moved to here in Toronto, Canada, I'm an American. I lived in the United States, and I lived in Wisconsin. So there was a paranormal group up there called the Southern Wisconsin Paranormal Research Group. It's a mouthful. They invited me to go with them on a ghost hunt to Valeska Axe Murder House. It was a place where bad stuff happened, like really bad stuff happened back in. I think I have a video here on YouTube about it. And so we were just there. We caught a few weird things, odd things, but nothing that was like it was like some temperature changes, that type of thing. We had a weird thing happening that night where this guy, oh god, it's a long story. So there was a guy, the owner of the home bought it for the sole purpose of it becoming a ghost hunter destination. So there's immediately some questionable motivations there. You know, the place had no power, and so I was there, this ghost hunter group was there, and this guy, and we're like, who's this guy? And the owner said, oh, I ran a contest on my own, and he won a night to hang out with you guys. And we're like, what? Nobody talked to us about this, So it very quickly became obvious to us that he was there to boost the excitement. You know what I mean? He was there to jazz things up a bit. So, because we'd be like sitting there doing like EVP stuff, and he'd be like, did you hear that? Oh, I thought I heard a voice. And we're all just like, no. So it became very obvious that it was kind of a plant and to give the Southern Wisconsin Paranormal Research Group credit, they took us aside and they said, okay, we're going to separate into groups. He'll be in the group, and whoever's group he is in, let's just nullify whatever results we find. So let's just say whatever happens in there with him, it doesn't mean anything, because he's obviously a plant and we can't trust any results that happen. So we took turns taking him and ignoring what he was saying. So it was a weird night in that way. So we did have some strange things happening. We got an EVP where it sounded like a girl talking, but to be fair, This wasn't a house out in the middle of nowhere. It was in the middle of a Iowa town. I think it was Iowa. And so there was noises, So it's hard to say, oh, this in this complete vacuum, this noise was heard, because who knows where it was. But the strange thing that did happen is that we were standing outside, and this was the night, and it was right when digital cameras were like first kind of taking off, and this girl had a digital camera, and I was standing with a group of people. We were talking. She was standing back at the house and taking pictures, and she'd lift up her camera, take a picture of the house, and then look at it. And if nothing was cool, she'd delete it. Then she'd take a picture and then look at it, delete it, and lift it. So she was doing that. And so we're talking, and all of a sudden she goes, "Oh my God." And like, what's going on? And she's like, "I just caught something weird on the camera." I'm like, really? And so she came running over, and she showed us the picture. And I've got a copy of it here. Let me show you guys. Here it is. So yeah, this is the picture. It's strange. Now, normally, I don't know if you remember, a while back there was like a phenomena people were talking about called rods, flying rods. It turned out to be a load of crap. It was like bugs. It was bugs flying. And this looks like that too. This, except for it's not rods, it's the string. Now, there is a lot of confusing things about this picture. I was there, I saw her snap it. So there's no fooling around here. But look, we've got this pattern here. I wish I could zoom in more. I wonder if I have it anywhere else. Let me see here. But as you can see there's a pattern happening right here. And it's got this very distinct kind of S curve. And it repeats here. And it repeats here. And then there's this like kind of like zing with lightning. Now, I could accept the fact that perhaps it is, bugs, okay? It's bugs, let's say. What are these identical patterns? I don't know what that is. If it's bugs, why are they flying in this weird kind of formation? I don't know if you call it that. And then why are these green? This one's green and these are yellow. This one's, it's just weird. I don't know. Again, and this is like, again, another situation where, is it paranormal? I don't know. I don't know if it's paranormal or not. It's strange. So I don't know. What do you think? I lost my OBS. There we are. Yeah, so I've been streaming, let's see, how long? About 20 minutes. Nobody's jumped in. It's now about 3 a.m. Isn't this the magic hour when things are supposed to happen? But anyway, nobody has jumped in. I found that to do things on YouTube, you need schedule. People don't like it when you're just random all the time. So, I don't know. I'll think about it. So there was some issues over on the I had started doing regular podcasts over on Podbean, but then Podbean did something that I guess is common. I didn't expect it, which was they said you only have so much space here, and then you need to start paying. And I'm like, oh, I didn't really want that. And they said, well, you can delete other podcasts and put new ones up, delete old ones. And I'm like, I don't want that either. I want people to be able to go and say, oh, that was fun. I want to listen to another one. I don't want to delete content I made. And they're like, well, then you need to do a monthly thing. And I was like, that sucks. So I just kind of backed away from the podcast for a while, but I didn't quite honestly realize how powerful a podcast is. So I probably should bite the bullet and just get back to it. So I don't know. Anyway, this was kind of a viable option. I thought is I could jump on here and do some stuff and see how that works. But when you're just randomly going, you know, I feel it's 2 a.m. I feel like maybe I'll just jump on and stream, do some live stream. You know, you're not gonna get a lot of people jumping in because they had no idea, So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Every time in October, like I said, I get all wispy about, oh, I miss my Nocturne Society stuff. So I'm going to wrap it up now and go back and listen. I got the nice fancy microphone, and I use it for other things now too. So, but it's nice. I like it. This is a Elgato Wave 3, I believe. It's really nice. Okay. Well, I'll probably leave this live stream up. Usually I do a live stream and then I delete it because nothing happened. But I'll leave this up, see if it gets any views. Maybe we'll do it again sometime in a more structured. And if you'd like to know when I'm streaming, I believe there are links in my description to my Twitter. Twitter is where I will be posting I'm going live if you're interested in being a part of that. I love ghost stories. I love them. I would really... There was that show that I just noticed on Netflix called The Midnight Club. That's a hard one to watch, I think. I looked at the trailer and I'm like, kids that are terminal, that's hard, that have this midnight club and talk about, and they get desperate because they're dying. Now, I know I said I was going to end it here, but that subject is very personal to me because I have always had death knocking on my door. So, and by that I mean when I was 35, I had a heart attack, massive heart attack, because I have a genetic disorder I didn't know about. And I was dead. They got an ambulance. I died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And then in the ER, they were able to revive me. And then I died again. So I got to feel what death feels like twice in one day. And the first time was nice and peaceful because I didn't know what was happening. The second time I knew what was happening, and it was terrifying. And it was terrifying because the doctors were beating on me. I was getting, defibrillated, and it was a traumatic moment. So fast forward, I had another heart attack in 2020. Not as traumatic. I was having chest pains, and I went to the hospital, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're having a heart attack, so we'll put some stents in you." But it wasn't a cardiac arrest. So I have 5 pieces of metal in my heart, 5 stents in my heart. And I take medication every day. I take shots once a month. All these things to keep me from being dead. So when I watch a show like The Midnight Club and people are just, these dying people are struggling to cling to a little bit more life, I I get it, and I get it too much. I don't know if I can watch it because I get it a bit too much. It hits too close to home. So, oh, got all heavy there. Sorry. If you want to know what death is like, I will maybe explain it sometimes. Like I said, it's a hard road for me to go down. So, there. Happy Halloween, right? Anyway, I will end it here. If you enjoy the video, let me know somehow. If you happen to stumble across the live stream I just did and you think, I want to hear more from this guy, this is fun stuff, give me a little comment, click a like. I don't, if you think I deserve it. That'd be great. Great to know there are people out there. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks for, if you listen to this, there's nobody in the chat, but if you listen to this later, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.